You know that one guy, that goofy young guy? Oh. Every time and they did something funny with a video?
Yeah.
Oh. I don't see it.
Is,
The vine guy.
yeah. Yeah. I haven't seen him in a while. This stuff's pretty old. Am I recording?
What's your favorite?
I'm recording.
What's your favorite vine industry?
I don't know what that is. Okay. So we voted on this. Did I show you the vote in the convention?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was 3 unknowns.
It was 7-3. Yes. Now, so the debate on this lasts another month. Okay. Remember, the Virginia plan by Madison wanted bicameral legislature, both houses based on population, a strong central government that could make national laws. The New Jersey plan said, no, not making national laws, and we want a unicameral where each state has the same power, the same representative, one each. Okay, might as well elect them annually too, because we don't trust them. Yes.
Federally, well,
Murder. If you commit murder in Wichita, Kansas, you will be charged by the state of Kansas. Now, if you murder somebody in a hate crime, you could be charged in a federal case. Now, depending on who you murder, people involved, okay, if you murder a postman while he's doing his job, a mailman, he's a federal employee, federal charges. Okay. You murder the ambassador to Russia from Russia in the United States. Well, federal. That sort of thing. So it's the parties involved. This, you haven't been there. We did this in government, right? At the end of the semester. At the end of the semester, we did the judiciary like in 2 days.
this is government.
So this is government class. You haven't gotten there yet. Talking history, I don't know, what am I doing? Okay, we're talking about the Great Compromise, what we're doing. All right, Grace, here you go. I don't know if you can see this, but the Great Compromise. So they're going to debate the Virginia New Jersey plan for another month. So the vote was on June 19th. This comes July 16th. Now, where's my Connecticut in here? Who's my Connecticut?
He's gone.
He's gone. True. We did this yesterday.
No,
Okay, I didn't show these stuff. Okay. So it's the Connecticut Compromise or the Great Compromise. Okay. And so we're gonna get what Madison wanted, which is a bicameral legislature, one house based on population, and the other house, what New Jersey wanted, which is equal representation in the second house, which we're gonna call the United States Senate. How many members are there in the United States House of Representatives? Okay, now the first one would have 65. Okay, in 1910, we went to 435. Okay, and we've been there ever since. More than 110 years. 435.
it was 65 all the way up till 19.
Yes.
What did all the other states?
What's your question?
Like they have the representatives to, like when they started adding states.
Yeah, you would just disperse them more. So you would lose seats when we added new states. Yes. Absolutely.
Why such a big jump?
Well, it's the people's house, so you don't want to have too many people represented by each representative. Now, today, that number is about 780,000 per representative. So we have 4 in the state of Kansas, right? So multiply 4 times 780,000, you're going to get just over 3 million people is what we have in the state of Kansas. Okay. Now, do you want to add more to the House? Do we need another 100 members of the House? That's $174,000 a pop with very nice benefits and pensions after 5 years. Do we need more politicians?
Oh.
But the truth is, we are getting further and further away from our representatives. The more population we get, and we don't add more. Okay, we would have to expand the chamber for more seating, desks, and so forth. Okay, which would be expensive. Okay, but hey, it's just money. Just print it. Ooh. Okay? Now, Norberto, is this what we have today? Is this what's in the Constitution? This is what goes in the Constitution. Is this what we have today? Some people shaking their heads no. What's different today?
We have a president.
Alex. Senators are now elected by the people, not by the state legislature. Now, if this is what's in the Constitution, you need a what to change that? Which amendment?
Direct election, is that like 17, 18, 16?
Which one?
Somewhere in there.
It's 17.
17. Now, you guys will be shocked to hear this. TJ Lipinski in 0 hour today just busted it out. 17. And then we had a big fight between our honors and regular kids about who was smart.
Smarter?
Well, remember the last test, the first test, objective part? Well, a regular student got the high score in 0.
TJ?
No.
Not an outlier. What was the mean?
I don't do means.
TJ was debating this all day about how
Were they not here?
balanced.
My honors kids in 0 are really quiet. To get overshadowed. What were you saying to me?
I don't know, what? Okay, I was gonna say TJ was arguing Miss Arnold
Oh,
about how, livestock creates pollution.
okay. So livestock creates methane. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Did they create a lot of methane?
So she was saying we need to stop eating them.
Oh my gosh! Who is this?
That's
I'll find a video. Okay, I'll find an explanation about just how much methane is caused by cattle. Kill the cows! Kill the cars! Hey, guys, listen, Grace is getting really annoyed right now. I'm trying to teach. Okay? All right, so. Now, I want to talk about this. Can I talk about this? Now, so we now let the people choose the Senate, which is more democratic, right? If the people get to choose the Senate, it's more democratic, so it must be a good thing, right? Because it's more democratic. Okay, let's do a little test right here. Raise your hand. Don't yell it out, Liam. Shh. Raise your hand if you can name the 2 senators from Kansas that represent us in Washington, D.C. Raise your hand. I got 2 people in here. We're in an honors class. A bunch of you guys just registered to vote yesterday. And I got 2 people that know who our senators are. Now, let me ask you a question. Do you think our representatives in Topeka know who our 2 senators are in Washington? Of course they do. But the people don't. And that's the way they like it. Now, let me throw something else at you, okay? Going conspiracy theorist on you, but not really. This 17th Amendment needs to be repealed, as does the 16th Amendment. Liam, shut up. The 19th, you idiot. Now, I know you're just being a pain in the neck. What amendment is the 16th? That's the income tax. Now, listen to me, people. Prior to, let me show you something. This is the population of the first census. Okay, for each state. The largest state is Virginia. 691,000. Delaware, the smallest at 59,000. Okay. Now, they tax. This government's going to have the power to tax. Guys, they didn't start taxing in 1910 when they did the 16th Amendment. Okay. They were able to tax before, but what the federal government would do is they would tax the states based on their population. Follow it. 16th Amendment creates a direct relationship between the federal government and the individual and your income. They come into your paycheck, take that money out before you even see it. Yes? Now, if we don't see this money, we don't have to write a check, it just comes out. So here's what I'm saying. If the states were still taxed based on their population, who would be taxing us? Our state governments would be taxing us. Those are our neighbors. People that serve in the state legislature or live in our neighborhoods or near our neighborhood. They would be the ones taxing us. They would also be the ones sending the U.S. senators to D.C. that would be taxing them, who are taxing us. So when we complain about taxes to our neighbors, they complain to the senators about their neighbors, complaining about the taxes. They would. Would we have $34 trillion in debt if we didn't have the 16th and 17th Amendment? No, because the state legislatures would say to the senators that they're sending to DC, knock it off. We're hearing from our people about all this money you're spending, and we don't know where it's going, and it's wasteful, and it's inefficient. Let us keep this money in the states. We will solve these problems in our states. Ben.
Having to drive an entire state, you can just drive the however many legislators there are that are on.
I mean, you could see some complications with elections, but then, I mean, people, it kind of works its way down to the people. Like, okay, the state legislature's putting bad senators out there. We need to get rid of the state legislature. I mean, if people don't pay attention, then the whole system's screwed anyway. Okay, that's that famous quote from Ben Franklin. It's a republic if you can keep it. And if you don't pay attention, you're not going to keep it. Yeah.
Senators are elected every 2 years. Right?
House members every 2, Senate every 6. 6-year terms. Huh? There's no term limits, which is a great point that I want to bring up right now. Now, I was listening to Trump did a town hall and the lady that was interviewed said that Ron DeSantis was in South Carolina pushing for term limits for members of Congress. Now, here's the thing, guys. All 27 amendments to the Constitution were proposed by 2/3 of Congress. But there is another way to propose constitutional amendments. So would you ever have Congress propose a constitutional amendment to put term limits on themselves? No, not going to happen. Now, there are a few members that would vote for that, like Ted Cruz, who advocates for it. Okay, he's on there somewhere. Okay, now let me show you. There's another way. There's another way to propose constitutional amendments, and it looks like this. A convention of the states. That's what this is. Where the states send delegates to a city for the purposes of proposing constitutional amendments. Thus far, 13 states have agreed to do so. Kansas has not. Now, I joined this group 2 years ago called Convention of the States. Now, my wife says I'm in a cult. Okay. But I went to Topeka 3 years ago because they were having a hearing on this in the state house. So I went with my button and showed my support. Okay. It passed the state house of Kansas, but stalled in the Senate. Been trying for years to get Kansas to join the other 13 states. What you need is somebody famous to get behind it and make this happen. So, a convention of the states, you need 34, 2/3 of the states. for the purposes of proposing constitutional amendments, A number 1 being term limits for Congress. Now, they don't like to talk about this out loud. People that know the convention of states like I do, because when I joined, I'm like, hey, 16th and 17th got to go, right? I mean, we need to repeal those. And they're like, yes, shh. Because when you start talking about repealing the income tax, people are like, you're crazy, man. You can't do that. No, you can't. Just tax the states. The states will tax you and I, and they'll pay the bill. And then we repeal the 17th Amendment, and the states will once again choose our senators that are the ones that are going to be asking to tax us. I think it's a brilliant idea. The Convention of the States of Wichita chapter meets once a month at Spangles.
That's very.
All you have to do is go online, Google Convention of the States, Kansas or Wichita, Kansas, and you'll find Bob Straughter, and who I'm Facebook friends with, okay, who's kind of the guy in charge of our area. Okay? They wanted to make me a precinct captain of the, I was cleaning my house the other day, the closet, I don't know if I told you, and I found a box. I got a few more of these, if anybody's interested. Join the cult. Okay. Okay. Well, Convention of the States. Okay. They are definitely looking for young people. All right. Now, you said you're going to a scholarship competition this weekend? Where is that? Okay. You looking at University of Dallas? Did any of you guys do the Distinguished Scholarship thing at Wichita State? Did that? Anybody else? You did? Okay. So this is about 6 or 7 years ago. All right. I'm teaching the lesson I just taught you about 17. Okay. And that weekend, some students went to the Distinguished Scholarship thing in Wichita State. They came back on Monday. They said, Mr. Ebra, because they put you like in a round table. You have they ask a question, you have discussions, they go around lists. Is that what they did? Yeah. What was the topic? The 17th Amendment. And I just given this lecture. They're like, Mr. Ebra, you won't believe it. I got a $10,000 scholarship because I knew about the 17th Amendment. 2 students got $10,000 scholarship. Let's go. Join the cult. All right. So both houses have to pass a bill for it to become a law. Okay. Now, while I have this is the official census of 1790. It's the first one. Another thing they would put in the Constitution is that every 10 years, you have to do a population count. Why do we need to do that? Yeah. The correct term for this, Nathan, is apportionment or reapportionment. So every 10 years, we will reapportion the 435 seats among the 50 states. Every state is guaranteed at least one. Okay. And there you go. Okay. So here's a problem. You got a problem. There are inhabitants in many of these states that do not have human rights. Do we count them as population? Well, here's the thing. The northern states, of which a couple by this time have already done away with slavery. Now, there are still slave states in the north at this point. But I think the general consensus is that they want to do away with this institution. But you know the South, ladies and gentlemen. So the northern states, the irony is this. The northern states say you can't count the slaves as population because you don't give them any rights. You count them as property, not citizens. So you can't count them. Okay. Because if you can count them, that gives the South more population and more seats in the representative. Yes? gives them more power. So if they do want to get rid of slavery, the South would have more power, make it harder to do that. You follow me? So the irony is this: the northern states were the ones that didn't want the slaves to count. See what I mean? Now, how many states do you need to ratify this new constitution? You need 9. Well, I'm sorry, guys. I'm here to tell you, you're not getting 9 unless you compromise here. So just like during the Declaration of Independence, when Jefferson put that stuff in there about slavery, the southern states said, we're not signing. And Hancock said, you got to have all 13. The issue was independence. The issue wasn't slavery. Took it out. Now we got a chance to fix slavery now again in 1787. But what is the issue? We either continue to live under the feckless constitution known as the Articles of Confederation, of which this country will probably dissolve into chaos, or you compromise and push back this issue for another generation to deal with. So you can criticize Washington, you can criticize Franklin, you can criticize Hamilton, Madison, all of these 55 men. You can throw them under the bus and run over them. Doesn't change the fact we don't have the United States of America unless they compromise. Now we're going to read about this on Monday. We're going to read some Federalist papers, and Madison writes a Federalist paper for this on this topic. Okay, and tries to explain it to the people of New York. What the heck is going on? Yeah.
You heard about the cyber attack earlier today?
I did see that Verizon and mostly AT&T was down. A lot of customers lost service.
You know what that was about?
I don't know.
Because I saw somewhere there was like someone was saying that it was the government was saying that it was possible cyber from the Middle East.
Yeah, I don't know the cost. I did hear about it. Did anybody lose service? Really?
So,
Did you get it back? It's back. Okay. So everybody knows what this is, right? This is a 3/5 compromise, right? You have to write all this down? No. Okay. You guys know what 3/5 compromise. If you were to have to write about the Great Compromise, you would not be writing about this. Great Compromise deals with the legislative branch, government, that bicameral legislature, the House and Senate they set up. Okay. You are not going to have to write about this on the test. Okay. So, but you know what it is. You understand. So they're going to divest a human being of 2/5 of their humanity. So for every 5 slaves, you'll count 3. Guys, this is kind of a sad thing. I don't even know if I should tell you. Did I tell you? It's kind of sad. Okay. There was an old saying back then that it took 5 black men to do the work of 3 white men. That's where they came up with it. Okay. It's an ugly thing, guys. You're talking about human beings and taking away their humanity. That's what this does. Okay. So, and then the irony that it's the Northerners that oppose slavery that are the ones that don't want them to count. I see that, see that. But here's the thing. The South is going to have to pay more in taxes because they are able to count 3/5. They're going to have, because remember, I just told you, federal government taxes the states based on population. They will get more representatives in the House, and they will pay more in taxes. Okay. Good. Anybody trying to write all this down? Oh, thank you. I'm moving on. Okay. Here's another thing they did. You don't need to know this for the test, but they did agree that they would stop the importation. Thank you. They would stop the importation. There it is. Okay. Of new slaves in 1808. So no more new slaves coming in after 1808. Stick around for a minute. Got any more? So what that means, guys, is after 1808, no new importation, but the slaves that are already here, you understand, become a more valuable commodity. Okay. Then the last thing here, which you should just generally know, like, we have tariffs, taxes on imports, right? Well, they put in the Constitution that you could not tax exports. So it's good they put it in there, because otherwise, if it exists, Congress wants to tax it. You understand that? So they can't. They're not allowed to tax exports. Did you know that? It would really be kind of self-defeating. You going there? Yes? Excited. I'm excited for you. Okay. Now we got to figure out this thing on the president. Or wait, what are we going to call him? They're making it up. Okay. There was no president under the Articles of Confederation. I know I told you John Hanson was the president. He wasn't really a president. Okay. He was the leader of the government. Okay. That's it. Okay. Now, so you guys know about Hamilton, right? So some people said he was a closet monarchist. And he wanted the president to have a lot of power. There were others that were like, no. Okay. Some people said that Hamilton wanted to call the president king. So we go from King George II, King George Washington III, I guess. I don't know. So how are we going to elect the president? Some people said we should let the people elect the president. Now I know you would all raise your hand if I asked you who the president. Okay, we know that. Oh, by the way, Dr. Roger Marshall and Jerry Moran are our two senators. Who's Ron, he's our member for rep to the 4th district.
Our district.
Our district. Yeah, I believe all of us live in there. Roger Marshall and Jerry Moran. Yep. Okay. So, some people want Congress to elect the president. That would be what kind of system? Parliamentary. So they compromise again. What are they compromising on? What do they compromise with? What is it called? The Electoral College. How are we doing? Okay. Did I explain the Electoral College to you?
Yes.
Yeah, it's the.
Hogan? Hogan, could you come up here and explain the Electoral College there? Okay. Celine,
Not as well as you could.
could you come up here and explain the Electoral College to everybody in here? Good. Natalie? Good. Jason? You got 3 seconds. 1,000, do 1,000. No, you're out.
Just pick eight.
Eight will go.
So what you're saying is I need to talk about it again.
I don't think you have my option.
You're not paying attention anyway.
I know. I'm talking about this is government, not history.
Why do you hate Roger Marshall?
Because he's slimy and he's little. Yeah, don't over something that's hard. I don't know about that.
What did he ever do to you?
Some of the first of all, his bill with Dick Durbin that he's trying to champion is, oh, I'm giving money back to the American people. It's not doing jack crap for the American.
I would never do anything with Dick Durbin.
Well, he would.
Okay.
He has a bill that he's championing with Dick Durbin. He's trying to be like, oh, I'm giving money to the American people, when in reality it's just turning around. Like, it's not gonna lower prices. It's the interchange bill. And he's
I
like,
think I've been hearing about this.
he's
Yeah.
trying to say, oh, it's gonna lower prices. And there was a billboard that said like, oh, Roger Marshall, and thank him for co-authoring the Dick Durbin interchange.
It's kind of like a consumer thing,
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's trying to claim that it's gonna lower prices and a bunch of other things. But
Okay.
in reality, it's gonna do none of that.
all right. Well, hopefully that's dead on arrival.
He pisses me off. And he's slimy.
Dude, Moran pisses me off
Yeah, Marin is.
because he's a rhino.
he's-
He's only conservative at election time.
Yeah.
I had Jerry Moran in to talk to my students one year. He was campaigning. It was an election year. He sounded really conservative. I'll give him a call.
I'll email.
If you brought something.
If I get trouble.
You wouldn't
Would show up?
No, I don't like Eddie. Hall.
Not even to like fight him?
No, I don't.
No,
Just like say you met him.
I don't like it.
Not even for a picture?
Nope, I will not be associated with you on.
I have done to you.
Nothing against it. I agree with most of his like
Take a
political ideology. I just don't like him.
Take a selfie with Obama.
Okay.
I've heard that.
Oh, of course. And there's some parts of him that I don't like either. Yeah, I mean, just shut up. Okay.
He doesn't know. Check his Twitter. Fiction where.
No, he's not presidential. No, he's not.
Not saying he's really unprecedented.
I know.
It's his business.
Now, do you think he could try and play that part if he wanted to? Probably, but that wouldn't be any fun. It'd be boring. Hey, how many guys have AP Cast? Okay, I was snooping today. So she was making some copies down there. I went down and made some copies. And I saw something sitting on top of the stack. It said Cass. And it had a picture of Obama, Trump, and Biden. Have you guys done that yet?
It might be. Yeah.
It's coming down the pipe. Well, for somebody's getting it. I don't know. 30 students, I figured that was it.
Well, it could.
Juniors.
Oh, juniors? Got
What
it. It was about 3 speeches, one given by each man about killing terrorists. So Bin Laden was killed by Obama, Soleimani by Trump, and then somebody by Biden. Okay? And just how they handled the speech that they gave about it. It was pretty interesting. And they talked about it. Trump's a TV star. You know, he had The Apprentice. Not a politician. Not presidential.
It was in, Home Alone too.
Yeah. Hey man, Hollywood used to love that.
He was in Home Alone.
So he ran for president. Okay, hey, how many members of the House does Kansas have? 4, based on population, yes? How many senators? 2. Now, remember, when you go vote, you are not actually voting for president and vice president. You're voting for electors. There are 6 Republican electors, 6 Democrat, 6 Libertarian. Go vote, you're voting for them, depending on what party you vote for. Whichever party gets 51% of the popular vote in Kansas, those 6 electors from that party will cast the actual vote, president and vice president. And yes, the number is 538 total electors. 435, 100, and then District of Columbia gets 3 electors. If they were a state, based on their population, they would get 1 member of the House, 2 senators. So the number is 538. Now, so you got to look at the map and say, okay, I need a majority of the 538. You cut this in half, you get 269. The majority is 270. That's the magic number. So you go around all those states and you try and figure out, how do I get to 270? Follow me?
270, which will be. You have to go.
Only one person can get to 270.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Okay. Now, what, Logan, happens if it's a 269 to 269 tie?
And to a college, every county. House of Representatives.
The House of Representatives will choose the president. This has happened twice in American history. 1800, Jefferson, 1824,
Andrew Jackson.
John Quincy Adams. Okay, now, here's how this works. How many members of the House does Kansas have? How many of them are Republican? 3. Kansas votes Republican. 1 vote per state. California has a bunch. Most of them are Democrats. California votes for the Democrat. Okay? Texas, 38 House seats. Most of them are Republican. Texas votes Republican. Whoever gets 26 is the president. Mr. Ebright, what if it's 25 to 25? It is 25-25 in the House of Representatives.
Oh, there's a vice president, Speaker of the House.
The outgoing vice president will remain president, become president, until they break the tie. It's never happened. But it could, and you could get 269, especially because of Nebraska and Maine, how they split up their districts, their electors. Okay, so you could get some funny numbers. Now, if you were in my class next fall, I've shown you. I think I showed you polling. Polling in here yet? Okay, later in the semester, I'll show you a website that you can build your own electoral college map. Like, just play with it. See if you can get to 269, or just say, okay, Trump wins Georgia but loses Pennsylvania, and just kind of play with the numbers. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. It's a website called realclearpolitics.com. You can pick the different ones in Nebraska and Maine. Yeah. Well, you can't change the line. 48 of the 50 states are winner take all. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. I got one more thing. On September 17th, 1787, majority of the delegates will sign this Constitution. That's not the end of this business, but that does become Constitution Day. September 17th, Constitution Day. Okay, it's one of the days. Any of you guys have a flag, like you fly out in front of your house? We have a flag. Yeah, it's one of the days you fly it. It's on September 17th. Flag Day is June 14th. Do you know what other days you're supposed to fly your flag if you want to fly your flag?
Every day.
I got a list. I got a list. New Year's Day. Inauguration Day, January 20th. Lincoln's birthday, February 12th. Who's got that? Washington's birthday, the 3rd Monday in February. That's weird. Anybody else got a birthday like that?
Yeah.
Easter Sunday, variable. Mother's Day, but not Father's Day. Armed Forces Day, Memorial Day, Flag Day, Independence Day. What day is that? Labor Day, Constitution Day, Columbus Day, or depending on who you are, Indigenous Peoples Day, Baby Day, Veterans Day. What day is that? The 11th day of the 11th month, the 11th hour. Veterans Day. Thanksgiving Day, the fourth Thursday in November, and Christmas Day.
What about separation of church and state?
Oh, yeah, I know. That's that darn thing.